Seriously, I can't believe that happened to me. All right, so welcome to another video. Today we're just gonna do a quick short video about the Spur stock, which opened today on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. So this is gonna be a short one, just an update for our community. So let me just get right into it. Let me just say that anything that's discussed here is for education, entertainment, and illustrative purposes only, and should not be construed as professional financial advice, solicitation, or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that include Spur. All right, so let's go. All right, so I hope everyone is doing well. Let me just get some screens out the way here so that you can see what I'm showing. Hi, Kayan, how are you doing? Let me share. So we're just gonna be looking at what happened today, right? So so before I go, for those who may not understand how this all works, so there are some persons that I noticed one didn't get their refunds as yet. There are some persons who are mentioning that they have not gotten their refunds. So if you have not seen it, speak to your broker or your advisor. What I've been hearing is that the funds were sent back to the broker whose JSCD number was attached to your submission. So if you don't see your refunds, just give them a call, speak to whoever is the rep for your account, and you should be able to tell them what to do with that money, because it seems like it's been in limbo for some people. There are some persons who aren't clear about the number of shares they're supposed to be getting. That's what I have on the screen here. So for everybody who is in the general public pool, you're going to get the first 10,000 shares, and then you're going to get 11.76% of the difference. Now, if you apply for 50,000, for example, you're going to get the first 10,000 and then 11.76% of 40,000. So that's how it works. So if you do that math, you'll be able to calculate how much you'll get. And some persons saw an email where they got the details from their broker as to how many shares they would have gotten. I got that, but not everybody got that. So you can do that math yourself and just kind of figure out where you stand, right? So as I was mentioning before, it listed today. They also had opening ceremony. I think that's on the Jamaica Stock Exchange's website, YouTube channel rather. Check that out. They were also streaming live from the Spur Spices Instagram page. So if you go over there and check that out, you'll see it. So let me share. So this is what happened today, right? So today was opening day. The IPO was for $1. And so for those who are not familiar with how these things work, based on our Jamaica Stock Exchange policy, no stock can essentially trade higher than 30% of its opening price in a given day. So I'm not going to get very technical in this video. We're going to have a video explaining that rule, etc. soon. But that's what you need to understand, right? So because of that, so let me actually go a little bit deeper. So this is JMMB Moneyline application for those who are not aware. Very good application, actually. So if you're a JMMB customer, kudos to you. So what would have happened is at 9:30 a.m., these three orders would have triggered this, what's called a circuit breaker rule. And so because that was triggered, the stock would have halted for an hour. As I said, I'm not going to explain what any of that means in this video, but essentially we had to wait an hour for it to be released. Once an hour ended, there had to be sort of a reference price set. Once that price is set, then there was a cap as to how high it could trade from that point. That amount in this case happened to be $1.32. So that would have been the highest price that it could have traded today. And so all of these trades that were executed, you see them capped out at 132, and we had 56,000 units trading today. Now, I mean, for those persons who would have gotten in at the IPO, being able to sell their shares at this point within 30 days, that would mean over over 30% profit. That's not bad for a month of investing. And so that's pretty much what we're seeing here. So yeah, that's pretty much what took place. What I thought it was interesting to see is, let me check the queue. So we're looking at both the buy orders and the sell orders as at this time. Of course, this could change come Monday morning. So we have about 75 orders to sell, going all the way to $100. Right, I love seeing prices like this. I think that's very, very entertaining to see. I mean, this is what, 100,000%. And we also see about 528 orders to buy. Now, we haven't really spoken about supply and demand on this channel, but I think this is a very interesting picture. You have 75 persons who have shares to sell, and you have 528 persons who want to buy. I don't necessarily want to say number of persons, because of course one person could have multiple trades, or one institution could have multiple trades. These things can vary. So let's just look at it based on the number of orders. So 75 orders versus 528 orders to buy. So I think this sets a stage for some very interesting activity over the next couple of days. All right, so I'm looking to see what the largest order is. There's an order for 10 million shares here at $1.31. 10 million there. You know, some pretty decent order sizes here. And so, I mean, I'm not seeing any orders to sell in the millions yet. And that's not surprising, because the general public would not have gotten a lot of shares. So if we see anything higher than a certain amount of volume, then the assumptions may be that those may be coming from existing shareholders coming into the offer, or maybe somebody who just had a lot of capital. I mean, we never know. So I mean, if you take some of these orders going up to number 5, that $700,000 order here at the top of the buy queue would probably take up all of these orders here, or most of them, right? So I mean, that's an interesting thing there in terms of just the demand for the number of units. All right, so we saw you know, IC Insider released an article on it today. I'm going to link this article in the description, but it was pretty much just, you know, commenting on what I would have shared earlier. So I'll share the link, check that out if you wish. And so yeah, let me see here if there's anything worth noting. Anything that I might have missed? No, pretty much here just kind of commenting on what would have taken place, explaining, you know, based on the rules, it would have been frozen until 10:30, like I said. And yeah, so I think we're good there. And this is what it looks like on JTrader. For those who have JTrader, very same information. We're not going to see a very fancy chart or graph right now because it's the very first day. But we're seeing the same orders. But of course, you can see it's presented a lot more pleasing to the eye on the JMMB platform. So yeah, that is pretty much what I wanted to share here. So for those who are not really sure, you know, where they stand, what's happening, all of those things, you know, you can leave any comments, any questions in the comments below. If you haven't done so yet, join us in Telegram. We're answering some of your common questions there. So yeah, hopefully you have, you know, at least evaluated this company to see whether or not it fits your portfolio. We did a prospectus review. We did a review to talk about the allocations. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see it over the next couple of days and see how it trades. Let me see some of the questions here before I go, because that's really all I wanted to share with you guys today. Just kind of share with you what happened and just comment on some of the things that I see our community members asking about. So Devon's Beekeeping is saying, what happens if there isn't much movement in the stock, meaning that not a lot of people are buying at the asking price? So I don't think we have to worry about movement based on the queue that I just showed. If that remains the same, there's going to be a lot there's going to be a lot of movement. I think we can expect that. So what remains in the queue are the orders yet to be filled, right? So I mean, once an order has been filled, it's no longer in the queue. So we can only look at those orders that are pending. I think we have healthy demand so far. I mean, it's just really to watch it and see how it goes from here. So I don't think you have to worry about movement. Now, the type of movement that is yet to be seen, but we can say that there's healthy demand based on the queue that we looked at. Kerry is saying that he expects the stock to double. Kerry, I don't know. I can't speculate those things. Do a section on filing taxes as it relates to the sale and purchase of stocks. What do you mean, Romain? Because you do. We don't have. Do we have to? Hey, somebody tell me, because I don't. To my understanding, you don't need to file anything with our local tax office as it relates to your portfolio. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. That would be new to me. So I definitely want to check that out. Maybe one of you guys in the Telegram group can let me know. Debony is saying that she got an email from Sagicor. Great. Hey, Dana. Yeah, so I mean, let me know if you have any questions. Just leave them in the comments below the video. Join us on Telegram. We're very, very active in our discussions there. So on Monday or Tuesday, we're going to do a video on dividend investing. We're going to do a complete walkthrough of how to invest with a focus on dividends, how to calculate the dividend yield of a stock, what are some good dividend investing strategies, and just to help persons figure out that side of investing. I really do hope you enjoyed the short video. If you did, please leave it a like. And okay, let me see here. Okay, so Romain, to join the Telegram group, check the link in at our YouTube channel. There's a link that says, connect with us. Just click that link. It'll show you a list of other links, and you'll see the Telegram group to the bottom there. Tryon, I can't answer that question, man. Come on. I think what I think the value would be, what do I think the value of the share will be over a year time, not the price, the value. I don't know what type of question you're asking me there. Let me see what Kerry is saying. If you work for the government and make a certain amount, you have to report your stock yearly. Okay, so it's specifically for government employees. Hopefully someone watching this can confirm. Let me know in the comments below. I've never heard about that before, but because I know we pay a GCT on the fee that we do for trades, I didn't know that you need to report that, because the assumption is that you're investing from income that is likely already taxed. So I'm not seeing what filing really needs to take place there, but I mean, that might be something that I would have missed. So what happens to orders higher than 132? So because it wasn't allowed to trade higher than 132 today, all of those orders would have been, canceled or referred, anything to that effect. So what would happen Monday is that you'll of course be able to trade within a higher range based on the price that it closed at today. So what you can do is look on Monday morning for the reference price, and that reference price would be able to let you know what that threshold would be in terms of trading for the day. So my understanding is 15% below and as much as 30% above. Again, somebody can put those definite figures in the comments below if I'm wrong about that, but that's my understanding of it. Predominantly we use relative valuation to value a stock, PE. Okay. Well, Tryon, I wouldn't want to answer that at this point. I haven't done that type of analysis yet. But I'm definitely looking to see the next few quarters, what their financials look like. They're not about the halfway mark of the year. I'll try and do an estimate as to where I think they'll end the year. That's what I normally do. I don't try to project a year in advance. I think too much can happen within 12 months. So usually when I'm 6 months out, I'll do, somewhat of an estimation from there. And then we likely do a stock review on it somewhere around, May, June, thereabout. Yeah, exactly. Because the financials at IPO in the prospectus, I wouldn't want to work with those. I'd want to see at least 2 quarters first, and then we can see what those numbers are projecting to look like. And I'm sure you can expect some form of equity analysis from one of the brokers locally. All right. Any other questions before I go? Well, it didn't as far as I can see. I believe I saw one company do a stock review, do a review. I think GK did a review. So if you're in our Telegram group, somebody can just reshare that and we can see what it had said. Will there be a limit as to how far the stock can go on Monday, similar to what happened? Yes, so for every day remain, there is a limit to how high the stock can trade. That's our circuit breaker rule. So as I said, the limit or the range, to my understanding, is 15% below and 30% above. So isn't it 30% ceiling, Chike? So let me know. Yeah, that's my understanding anyway. So there is but we're gonna have I'll probably just include that in my video next Friday. Also, IPOs are 30. You see. Yeah, I mean, trust me, we talk about this so often. So guys, this is one of those things. Every time there's an IPO, we talk about the circuit breaker rule. Every time a stock halts, we talk about the circuit breaker rule. And I can hear it. Okay, so let me actually just share mine with you before I go. So if you watch the early part of the video, you'll see me bring up that platform. Let me try and find and tell you how exactly I got there. So if you're in the JMMB Moneyline platform, you're going to log in where you see other services. You'll see the stock market summary. You click on that summary and then you just search for the company that you're looking for. And then you just bring that up. So I'm going to click on that because I mean, naturally I can't share my screen before that point because I don't want to share my login details. But that's how you see the queue that I'm seeing right now. So you'll see the buy and sell orders going into Monday. Of course, these can change during pre-market. So I mean, don't assume these numbers will stay static. Persons will have the opportunity to amend their orders. So what you're seeing here may not be the status when it comes time to open the market on Monday. All right. So Levar, I hope that helps you. So go to the stock market summary. You should see a list of the summary for the day, and then you just search for the stock that you're looking for. Then you click on it, and you'd see this screen. So there's a Q line chart to the far left. That's what brings it to the buy and sell orders. The last trades will show you all the trades that were completed. And then a candlestick chart is there, but of course, there's not enough information to show that. Yeah, man. So we're actually supposed to be doing a review of the JMMB Moneyline platform. I started to work on the video, but I had some issues there. So we decided not to release the video. So I'm going to work on another one for you. So what I'll do, I wish David was here to confirm. Yeah, so that's my understanding. So 30% above, 15 below is my understanding. And it has to do with the starting reference price. So let me actually check JTrader to see what it lists as the reference price. hope you guys not seeing my screen. Am I sharing my screen? Okay, no, because I don't want to share my portfolio with you guys. I mean, I want to help you guys learn, but there's nothing to learn from seeing my portfolio. Trust me. I have nothing to gain. All right, so I mean, the reference price here would be 132. So yeah, all right. That's what I'm seeing on JTrader right now as a reference price. All right, so Devons is asking, based on my experience, when companies have limited stock sold on the market, how does that impact the value over time? When companies have limited stocks, when you say limited stocks, you mean the number of shares outstanding? Can you explain what you're asking there so I can know how to answer? James is saying the stock will fall below $1 and that's when he'll buy. Okay, interesting. Let's see. You can't make any bold statements about the market because the price is determined by the investors on the market. So we will see. All right. So in terms, I mean, it depends on a company, right? It depends on a company. So if there is stock that's in limited supply and shareholders really want to get their hands on that stock, then I mean, supply and demand may say, well, it will drive up the price of that stock. I think it really depends on how shareholders view that company. If it's in demand, if it's at the right price, if there's interesting prospects for the company's future, there are things like that would come into play here. Because, for example, a stock may be of high value, but then it doesn't trade much. So I think there are some things that you want to think about there. So I know it's important for us as investors to focus on profit, which is important. But depending on how many shares you have, when you plan to let them go, there's something that I talk about in the group a lot, and that's the ability to liquidate your holdings when you're ready to sell. So that's something that I would think about as well, Devon. It's really there are some examples that we could probably look at. Like, for example, one that I'm thinking of that doesn't seem to have a lot of shares on the market would be Palace Amusement. But to my knowledge, that's not a stock that trades a lot. So that's what I'm saying. You may have a stock that is valued a lot, because I think it's now above $1,000, if I'm not mistaken, but it doesn't trade a lot. So if you have a stock that's very valuable, but nobody wants to buy it from you, then I don't know how that helps you. So there's a healthy balance between high value or high price and that limited number of stocks. Now, so for example, when we talk about JMMB's share buyback that's coming, some persons are anticipating that because there'll be less shares on the market, it may drive up the price. We're yet to see that happen, so we don't know, right? But that's an expectation. The expectation is less shares on the market should potentially mean higher price or higher trading price. But you have to you have to weigh a couple of things, I think, before you make that expectation, right? Okay, so I'll look at Caribbean Assurance Remain, but it's not a company I've looked at before, so I'd have to check that out, right? So I hope I've been able to answer all your questions. If you're not familiar with Spur Tree, please check out our video on the prospectus review. If you are a Spur Tree shareholder but you're not sure about your allocations, questions surrounding that, we have a video as well relating to that. Please check that out. And again, last call to action to join us on Telegram. We talk investing there every day. We're also on LinkedIn and Facebook, and you can follow us on all social media platforms. I really do hope you guys have a good rest of the day and weekend, and look out for that new video next week, Monday or Tuesday, as promised. All right. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.